Hey guys, Michael here. So I've made my first canvas engraving. This is a picture of my wife and I made a custom frame for it. The canvas engraving came out so well, I bought another one to share with you all the process that I went through. Stick around, let's get to it. So before we begin, I am still new to laser engraving on canvases. I do want to share with you the method I used for that picture of my wife and I. It came out really well and I want to do another image. But I do want to let you know that I am still new to this, and this is all a big learning curve for me and probably you as well if you're watching along. So on my canvas, I've already gone through, and as you can see, it's painted black. I used Rust-Oleum's 2X paint. I used a satin white and a flat black. I tried the gloss black the first time I did the picture of my wife and I. And what I didn't like is the parts that it didn't engrave, it was kind of glossy, and the parts that it did engrave, it was flat. So I went with a flat black, so that way when it does skip some parts, it's actually going to be flat and match the other flat parts. So you might try with different colors and different combinations, but I'm going to go with the black and white. So as far as the method goes, I took this is a dollar store 8x10 canvas, okay? I took this canvas and I spray painted it. I sprayed and painted it one coat of white, waited about 45 minutes, gave it another coat of white, waited another 45 minutes, and gave it a coat of black. Then I waited 24 hours at a minimum, but I actually waited 48 hours, and we have a finished product. And so what you're kind of doing is making it almost like a piece of tile, where it has a white tile and a black paint on top of it. And that's the method we're going to use to process our image on this website called Imag-R. And I'm not sure that's how you pronounce it, but you're going to use a white tile black paint method to go and process your image to actually engrave on this canvas. So the next thing we're going to do is hop on the computer and process the image that I want to work with. So let's hop on over and get started. All right, here we are on my computer, and this is the image that I want to engrave. This is the image sent to me by a friend of mine, and I think it would look really good on a canvas. So the first thing you need to do is go to this website, image-r.com. This website is used for processing images for laser engravers, including diode lasers, which is what the M1 and the D1 are, and CO2 lasers as well. Now, you have the ability to actually have an account here to have additional features added to where you can actually process images totally differently than you can on the free version. However, today we're going to use the free version and just hop on their website and start using the product. Now, as you can see right here, how to use Imag-R in 6 easy steps. We're going to follow these steps today, not necessarily in this order, but this is what we're going to use. So the first thing we need to do is upload our image. So I'm going to click on upload. I'm going to browse to my truck and barn original photo, and I'm going to hit open. When you're uploading it, if you look on the top left up here, you can see the wheel is spinning, so that means it is in the process of uploading your image. So the wheel stops spinning, and you'll have to scroll down to find your image, and there is the image that I uploaded. So I'm going to jump through here and do all of these 6 steps minus the add text, where I'm not going to add text to this one, and I'm not going to do it necessarily in this order. So the first thing I'm going to do personally is I'm going to resize this photo, because if you see right here, this is the current size. It is 56 inches wide, 42 inches high, and 72 dots per inch. Now this is really huge because it was taken with a high resolution camera. Now I'm going to resize this to make sure this fits on my 8x10 canvas. So when you hit resize, I'm going to change this to inches. And I'm going to start with the height of 8 inches. Click off of there, and as you can see, the width is a little bit bigger than my 10-inch, and that's okay. I'm going to leave that alone. I'm going to crop that out later. Because I'm going to keep the aspect ratio the same, and I'm going to keep that checkbox checked. Before I hit OK, I'm going to change the DPI. Our M1 is capable of 500 DPI, so I'm going to set this on Imag-R to match that. So 500, again, holding one of the two measurements to fit my canvas and leaving this alone. Hit OK. And as you see in the top left again, it is processing that image. And you just have to wait a little bit. Okay, it's done processing. If you see, we have a new advanced menu here on the left. So let's scroll down to see the image. Now what we're working with is on the left hand side here, this is the original image. It is in black and white now. And this is the resulting image after you adjust some of this advanced features here. So as far as these changes go, it's all a matter of personal preference when you change these. This is all something that works for you on what your image looks like. So I'm only going to change a couple of these. However, in your case, you may want to fool around and actually make some more changes depending on your picture. So the first thing I'm going to do before I start adjusting this, I'm going to jump over here to material because I want to set the material that we are going to be working with in Imag-R. So when I select that, I'm going to pick Norton. Because you can see right here, Norton mostly used on diode lasers. If you have a CO2 laser, you would pick this one. However, the M1, the D1 are both diode lasers, so we're going to stick with the Norton method. And I'm going to scroll down and use Norton white tile painted black. Because we have a white canvas, I spray painted 2 coats of white and 1 coat of black. This is the closest to that method. So we're going to pick this one and hit OK. So now that we're back to the main page, I can scroll down and see my image again. So here's where we are so far. We've resized our image so that it's 10.6 by 8 inches with a DPI of 500. And we've set our material to Norton white tile black paint. Now, this is the resulting image of what it's going to be engraving. As you can see here, the sky is really dark. That's because it's going to engrave more in the darker areas than it is in the lighter areas. That's because our tile is painted black. It wants to remove more of the black to expose the white. So that's why we're looking at a negative. Now, I don't see a lot of the clouds up here. So what I'm going to do is adjust the brightness. So I'm going to come over here on the left and I'm going to click on brightness. And I'm going to adjust this. Since we're looking at a negative, you have to think backwards. So I want to make it brighter, so I need to make it a minus number. So I'm going to do, let's say minus 30. When you do that and hit enter, it's going to process it here in the middle. Since it's a 500 DPI image, it's going to take a little bit longer to process the image. All you can do is sit and wait. So now that that's processed, you can see right here the clouds are a little bit more defined. So that looks a lot better than what it was before when it was all black. I'm going to come over here to the left and you can go through the rest of these. I'm going to go ahead and sharpen up the image a little bit more. I'm going to sharpen it by 20%. Hit apply. And so as far as I'm concerned, I've done everything I need to do over here in the top left. So before I download my image, one thing I need to do is adjust the size of it. So if you recall, I'm at 10.6 and the width of my canvas is only 10 inches. So I'm going to crop the image. So I'm going to come over here to crop. Before I get started, I need to change the measurement to inches. And as you can see, I'm at 10.6 by 8 inches high. Now you cannot adjust the numbers here, so you'll have to come up here and drag it till it matches the number. So I'm looking for 10 even. There we go. So I'm at 10 by 8, and you can also move this square around so that it fits exactly where it's going to fit your needs. Now I'm going to have this in a frame eventually, so I'm going to lose about a ½ inch around this image here. I want to capture a little bit more of this tree, so I can just slide this over to the right and know that my frame is going to be about right here, so I can see a little bit of the top of that tree. Once you're happy with the cropping, you can hit crop. Now it's processing the image. You can see in the top left here that the circle is spinning. It is processing. And we got to scroll back down to see our image again. Here we are, width 10 inches, height 8 inches, DPI 500. And this is the image I'm going to work with. I am happy with the way this image looks. I'm going to hit download, and then you can pick your bitmap, PNG or JPEG. I work with PNG a lot, so I'm just going to pick PNG. I'm not sure the advantage of those three. Hit PNG, and as you can see, it downloaded here on my screen. Now I'm going to go out to the shop, load this image into the M1, set up the M1, and we are going to engrave our canvas. We're out in the shop now looking inside the M1. As you can see, I have the base plate installed, and I also have a piece of aluminum foil taped to the base plate. The tape is there to keep it from floating around when you have the M1 turned on, and the aluminum is there to protect the base plate when I'm engraving on something on top of it. In case the laser comes off of that piece, it'll hit this aluminum foil and not damage my base plate. The next thing we need to do is take our canvas, put it inside the M1, and we're going to line it up and engrave on it. Now, one thing you can do to help you line up something is, you see this actual bar right here, this line right here? This is actually a raised lip that catches the base plate when you insert the base plate and drop it down. So, since this laser head runs along that bar parallel to it, I have a piece of wood here. I'm going to insert this piece of wood, butt it up against that bar in the back, and then I can use that piece of wood that's parallel to this laser head and butt my canvas up against it. That way I know the canvas is already lined up square to the laser head. Then when it comes to framing, all I have to do is make sure the framing light goes on the outside here and the outside over there. Now let's turn on the M1, go to XCS, import our image, frame it, and start engraving. So here we are inside the XCS. Before I do anything, let me go ahead and auto measure that canvas. Now that we've auto measured, let's insert our image. With the image selected, as you can see, the size is almost 10 by 8. I'm going to go ahead and lock this in at 10 by 8. Okay, now I can take this image and move it on top of the canvas. Now that I have the engraving visually on top of the canvas, let me come over here off to the right and make sure everything's set up properly. Since I'm basically doing the exact same method, I'm going to use the exact same settings. Now I'm going to hit process. I'm going to select framing to make sure my canvas is in the right location. Press the button on the M1 and double check everything. Well, surprisingly enough, that framing actually fit just right on top of that canvas. Now I'm going to select framing complete. I'm going to hit start, press the button on the M1 and start the engraving process. When you're doing this on a canvas, make sure you have plenty of ventilation because you are burning paint and it is kind of smelly. So make sure you have plenty of fresh air when you're doing the process. Alright, so I got it all finished up. I don't know if you want to see this. I'm not happy with it, but it is what it is. This is what my picture ended up looking like. And as you can see, it's pretty dark. There's a white background back there somewhere. I think what I should have done is probably lighten up the picture and I don't know, adjust the brightness, maybe the gamma, make the gamma a little bit higher. But this is just trial and error. This cost me, what, $1.25 and a couple of spritzes of some spray paint. So it really didn't cost me anything, just time and effort going through the process on the engraver. But after 2 of these and some other stuff, I definitely need to clean my M1. It is full of dust on the inside, and I can see dust is building up on the fan. So if you have not seen my cleaning videos, take a look at my light cleaning video after my original fire. And then I have a deep cleaning video that I did where I actually took the laser head apart and you can see the 3 sensors that you need to clean. Well, we live and we learn. Hopefully this video was helpful to you. I know I learned a little bit, so I can try and try again until I perfect this process. So appreciate you guys watching. I'll see you next time.